Hey boys and girls, today is our first day of our area and perimeter unit. This week we'll focus on perimeter and then next week we'll talk about area. Let's check in with Miss Kasey.
Hey, Miss Lindsay. Yeah, perimeter is super important to know in everyday life. For example, if we're taking a bike ride, I need to know the perimeter of the neighborhood I'm riding around to know the distance I rode for my exercise today. It's super important for our calculation for perimeter to be accurate.
Thanks, Miss Kasey. Remember, perimeter is the distance around the outside of an object. When I think of perimeter, I think about if you were to buy a fence for your backyard. You would measure the outside of your backyard, and then where you put your fence would be the perimeter of your yard. Anything else, Miss Kasey?
Remember, to calculate perimeter, we add up length plus width plus width, or length times 2 plus width times 2, and that equals the perimeter.
Thanks, Miss Kasey. Now I'm going to show you a couple of perimeter problems and we'll solve them together. So there's a couple of ways to find perimeter. Now, if you get a figure that looks like this, you can add up all of the outside units. So I call them units because there's no unit of measurement like inch or centimeter. Okay, so I'm going to count out the units, the perimeter. So really what I'm counting, and I'm drawing this line so that I don't lose track when I'm counting, but I'm counting in between these lines. I'm counting this line right here as my unit. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this figure is 18 units total. Now, when we see a figure that looks like this, and it looks like the length and the width they're already labeled. 10 inches, 10 inches, 6 inches, and 6 inches. Now, there's a couple ways to find out the perimeter. You can add them all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Well, I can do that in my head, and I bet you guys can too. 10 inches plus 10 inches is 20 inches, plus 6 is 26 inches, plus another 6 is 32 inches. So the perimeter of this shape is 32 inches. Now I just used the equation length plus width, length plus width, plus length plus width. And you can use that equation, or there's another way you can do it. You can do length times 2 plus width times 2, which is the same thing. Really, what that is just 10 times 2, which is 20, plus 6 times 2, which is 12, to get 32. All right, so now here we have a square, and if I wanted to find the perimeter of a square, and I only have one side, so I only see that one side is 7 meters. Well, if you see that one side is 7 meters, then that means that all of the sides are 7 centimeters because all of the sides on a square are the same length. So you can go ahead and fill them in. You can, and then I'm gonna count them up and add them, but I'm gonna use my songs to add it. So I'm gonna use my 7 song, 7, 14, 21, 28. All right, so the perimeter of this square is 28 centimeters. All right, and the last one is a little more tricky. This is called a composite figure. And what's different about this figure is that the perimeter is already given to you, 34 units, and you need to find X. You need to solve for X. So you're combining a little bit of geometry, algebra, area and perimeter. So I already know that this side length is 10, 5, 6, 2, and 7. But I don't know what X is, and I do know what the perimeter is. So in order to solve, I can add up all of the sides and then subtract from the total perimeter to figure out what X is. So my first step is going to be to add the sides. 10 plus 5, 10 plus 5, plus 6, plus 7, plus 2. Okay. And what am I calling these? Units, because there's no unit of measurement, remember? So they are labeled units. So 10 plus 5 is 15, plus 6 is 21, plus 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30 units. Now, if the total length of all of these sides is 30, and the total perimeter of the whole composite figure is 34 units, then what could x be? I need to take the total perimeter of 34 units and subtract it from the side lengths that I already have of 30. So 34 minus 30, so x must be 4 units. So if I plug in 4 for x and I add up all my side lengths, I should get 34. All right, I hope that helped. Now you should be able to perform the rest of the tasks for today. Good luck.